What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the art studio. This is a week that we are celebrating because my wife and I are actually celebrating our 20-year wedding anniversary, which I can't even believe I'm saying that, but yes, 20 years together, and it has been an amazing journey. We both make our living as photographers and filmmakers and artists and embrace our wildly creative sides. It's band rehearsal night, and I'm out with the Lumix S1 doing some video autofocus tests along with checking how far I can push the ISO. As you know, here on our channel, we share a lot of behind the scenes of photo shoots and video shoots as we travel the world and capture things, but there's actually a lot more creativity that flows out of our studio and out of our beings as well. As you can see, I'm working on this painting. I do a lot of large-scale expressionist paintings, oil on canvas. They take months to create, and I photograph them, have them printed on fabrics and sewn into wearable art and fashions. We have a little store called Charlie Fine Art Fashions, and just a creative way to spin all that we do. Painting is something that came to me late in my career. I started painting 7 or 8 years ago when I was in New York City living next door to a pretty well-known painter in the city. And he started showing me some technique and put a canvas in front of me and said, just move the paint around, I'll show you what to do. And once I learned a little bit of technique, I really got addicted to that creative process. And it actually reminded me of photography back in the film days when you didn't know what you were going to have until the print came to life. And then you probably don't realize I also play in a rock and roll band, so I've been writing a lot of new music. This week, a new song called Beautiful Girl. I brought it down to the band, been practicing it nonstop on the acoustic. I've always loved music and going to concerts and always played acoustic guitar a little bit, but it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I actually started writing songs, and I started sitting in with a band of longtime friends of mine and started singing, and now we're playing out a little bit and having a good time, and it's just such a creative release and a great reason to spend time with friends. Juggling a lot of different things, which is great, and today's really interesting because if the words house of field mean anything to anyone, especially anyone that was in New York in the 80s, we're going to document as guests a little bit of pop culture from the late 80s, where they used to have these fashion balls in the late 80s, and lots of people would come out and do routines and show their best fashions and show experimental fashion, and judges would judge all the different things, and voguing was popular, which is...
It's really kind of cool, I mean, photographically speaking, to know that this nuance of dance came from photography and came from, modeling all this beautiful fashion and music.
Not much I can say to take your pain away, but I want you to see how beautiful you are to me. Beautiful girl. Maybe a tiny bit more, just trying to get a little light on that cheek right there. Perfect. Oh my gosh, that's great. Little more, I know I'm crazy. That's it. That's it. What's awesome about exploring all these different genres in the art world is that our clients think of us more like a modern day Andy Warhol or David Hockney or any of the other greats who explored multiple mediums. And they're now turning to us to do so many different creative things. Beyond wedding and portrait photography, we're also being tapped for creative documentary films, and doing live streaming of bands and music and musicians and so many other things. And so it keeps our lives really interesting, to say the least. Yeah, baby, please don't cry. I promise to love you forever. You're the love of my life. And so the camera takes us so many creative places to meet so many different people from so many different walks of life. And we've embraced the fact that we are weird, that we are different. And I think as an artist, you have to do that. And so for those who stop by our channel and stumble upon what it is that we do, yes, we've embraced our weirdness and we're thrilled about it. And so now that we've caught up on this week's work, we're headed to Austin, Texas. We've been invited by Panasonic Lumix to their dealer meeting for the launch of the Lumix S1 full-frame mirrorless camera. We're also going to get a training session with some of the people who know the ins and outs of the system, which will hopefully give us an opportunity to ask some questions and bring the answers to those on our YouTube channel via Tech Talks.
The days go by, the hours they fly, when I'm with you. All I want to do is make you smile. Beautiful girl.
I tell you, having a mirrorless camera with 5-axis dual image stabilization is really a lot of fun when you're sitting on an airplane, because the stabilization is just so good and it just makes filming with this camera so interesting and so much fun.
Life, it really kind of showcased how it all melted together, you know?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So this should be an interesting evening. We don't know who could be there or who we might meet.
I know, it should be really cool, but hopefully, you know, this will really be an extraordinary start to a cool documentary.
It could be. It has a lot of potential to be that. Fingers crossed on that, but we're gonna meet some people, document it, have some fun, and experienced a little pop culture and fashion this evening, so it should be interesting.
Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl.
Our channel focuses on creativity, living the dream, and a positive outlook. Subscribe and join us. Go behind the scenes via our vlog, but also learn from us via Tech Talks, tutorials, and reviews from the perspective of two full-time artists at work.